Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, thank you for singing along our rock and roll song today. We are going to try a Statler Brothers song for you. The first and second song this is the second song coming up too, is just about you all and what you mean to us. Some fun stuff here from Statler Brothers. Oh baby mine, when I dream about you, can't be without you, that's why I dream about you. If I could only put my arms around you, life would be so fair. Oh baby, tossing and turning like slumber, holding you it seems. I give you kisses without number, but only in my dreams. Oh baby, I'm so dream about you, and you without you, that's why I dream about you. If I could only put my arms around you, life would be so fair. Oh baby, tossing and turning like slumber, holding you it seems. I give you kisses without number, but only in my dreams. So baby, I dream about you, can't do without you, that's why I dream about you. If I could only put my arms around you, life would be so fair. Oh baby mine, so fair. Oh baby mine, so fair. Here comes your song.
I've come to my grave, loving you, loving you. I'd give what I'd say, loving you. And when I thought of both of us, honey, you will know that you've been loved. For I go to my grave, loving you, loving you. La 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 I thought of both of us, honey, you will know that you've been loved. For I go to my grave, loving you, loving you. Yes, I go to my grave, loving you, loving
The Robinson Family Singers.
Again, it is an honor to have you all here. Mama is going to come out. She's our firecracker, 81 years young and just awesome.
She is our secret weapon.
That's it. And she's going to sing a song, I think, to her sister. I've shared with you all earlier this year for the first time
My
in a
little
long,
sister
long.
never gets out of the house. And here she is amidst all you beautiful people. And I know she feels the love around her. And my brother's sitting right here, taking care of business. I gotta tell you, honey, I can't believe you're here. She's from up in Ohio. And what is your name? Tell everybody so you know.
Judy.
Judy. Yes.
Algie.
And she lives up in Hamilton. And she's had, you mind if I tell them about your...
Oh, just open the book up right here. Here we go. Just a minute, everybody. Whisper, whisper.
She had cancer, and she's a survivor for one thing. And after she was really into her cancer situation, all that stuff, someone who was on drugs or maybe drinking too much hit both her and her husband with a car and broke her neck. Now, my daddy always said if you ever had your neck broken, you wouldn't live, but this is living proof that my baby sister's gonna make it just fine. And she did all that. never cease to be amazed at the miracles that take place in illnesses, because it has to be a miracle for having all of us she's been through and then have that happen. And she runs around the house happy as a lark. I call her up and she's trying to make me happy, you know? So this song is especially for you if I don't cry my eyes out. Just give me a little chorus to know
Just
where
give her
we're
an A,
on
yeah,
that.
just an A is good.
Every time I see you, I love you more and more. You bring me peace and happiness when you walk through that door. I can't wait to share with you how our lives have been. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my friend. Well, I've been waiting a long, long time to share my heart with you. Now the dream I've waited for finally has come true. Woo, 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 woo. Every time I see you, well, I love you more and more. You bring me peace and happiness when you walk through that door. I can't wait to share with you how our lives have been. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my friend. Well, you've been busy with your life. I hope your dreams come true. I feel so very lucky to sing it just for you. I'm singing just for you. Well, every time I see you, I love you more and more. Bring me peace and happiness when you walk through that door. I can't wait to share with you how my life has been. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me. And thank you for being my friend. I want to thank you for loving me. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for being my
Amen.
Come on.
Praise the Lord. Mayor Ruth Robinson Stevenson, bless your heart.
You know, what did we just do here a few minutes ago together? What did we do? We had what? We had lunch, dinner, supper, all different things. This song talks about supper time. And with Mama standing by my side, I'm gonna be crying now too, but we're gonna get through this song. But I know you know this old song, and it's a precious time. So many times I think we get away as young families from the dinner table. Everybody scatters out on the couch and the chairs, or they're rushing out of the house. We need to take a few moments as a family and sit around the table and just look at each other, you know, just spend time together. And I'm gonna quit because I'm crying already. But here we go.
And Judy, you and Johnny sing along, because I know you sang this to me over the telephone when we were in Las Vegas. They would call me up and sing this song, my whole family.
When I was but a boy, days of childhood, I used to play till evening set of sun, then winding down that old familiar pathway, I hear my mother call.
Come home, it's supper time.
Come home, it's supper time. We're going home. See, I'll just play it all for a minute. I'm going to tell a little bit of a story. You know, how many of you all have ever had powdered eggs or powdered milk years ago? You remember that? We're talking to the right folks here today. It's awesome. Years ago, we were on that powdered milk and powdered eggs. We had a large family. Mom and Dad were trying their best with 6 kids, and all the neighborhood kids were over for dinner and suppers all the time. Well, one day, this old milk truck came by, not with the metal canisters. That's a little before my time, but with all those little carton jugs, you know, those little pint things you see in schools and out very close to our home, and the door swung open and dropped all this milk out on the floor, on the ground, just everywhere, all over the highway, the street, out in the grass. And as kids, I remember Mama grabbing up all those jugs of milk, and the driver told us, they said, we can't use it now, it's been all over the ground, you can have it. She gathered all that up in all those little jugs. The taste was amazing in that cereal. Can you imagine the difference? You know what that powdered junk is like, right? If the powdered milk was real cold, it was okay. But once it warmed up, it was such a beautiful experience, and it just reminds me of how important it is that I don't, and I do right now. There's times where I don't see Mama for several days, and we live right next to each other, but you've got to take time with your Mama. Well, you still have it. This verse talks about that, but I'm going to cry all the way through it again. Here we go. I'm going to try. Y'all are so beautiful. You're making our Christmas experience. Thank you. In visions now I see her standing yonder, and her peculiar voice I hear once more. The banquet tables ready up in heaven. It's supper time upon the golden shore. Come home, it's supper time. The shadows make them fast. Come home, it's supper time. We're going home at last. A song for Mama.
Beautiful.
All right, it is Christmas. It's a joyful time. If I would quit crying, so we're going to sing a song that says right here, joy to the world, the Lord is come. Sing along. Receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His. Let's sing joy to the world. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Beautiful singing. Right now, thank you. We're going to be bringing up Samantha and Michael, and then Andrew, our 3 children, and I'll tell you a little bit about that at the end of the set, but we're going to do a song that they love to do, and I hope you all sing along with us. What's that?
Time out. You see us wearing these in-ear things? I can't hear the preacher over here on the keyboards.
He's gone.
Turning him up on my cell phone. All right, I think I'm good now, Mark.
All right, here we go. You all know the song, but let's see. Here we go. You ready, Michael, Samantha? And here we go. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a pair of shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it close. And if the other reindeer used to slip and fall in names, things never meant for Rudolph, joining any reindeer games. Then
Samantha,
And this is
Michael, and
Mark's
Andrew.
kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Columbus!
You know, my wife and I, we met each other years ago in church out west, and I'll tell you, it was Las Vegas. People think Las Vegas and they hear fan dances. It was a church that I met her in. Her daddy was an elder. And we had an occasion, I shouldn't say too much because my boys will listen, but I've been dating several other girls, and
Many.
when I met her, she was...
One in every city, yeah.
Stop.
One in every time they stopped.
Oh,
Another girl.
it wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
I was sharing with Andrew and was sharing the other day. You know when that special person is there for you. You just know it. And I met her, and I asked her daddy before we left. We were traveling quite a bit. We'd be in Canada, Mexico, all over the United States, and we happened to be out west in Vegas at that time. But it was about probably a month and a half before I was going to ask her to marry me. So I talked to her dad and mom, and he was precious. It was a beautiful time. I said, Sharon, I want you to see what the road life is like, because it is different. I mean, we traveled, we'd be running day and night, day and night, day and night, 6, 8, 10, 15, 20 days in a row, and then you'd have a break. So she came. Well, she didn't know it, but when she came, I lined up a car and a place to be at Niagara Falls to ask her to marry me. So we got to this beautiful setting. The mist was coming over. We drove over to the Canadian side. We were getting just wet from the moisture flowing through the air. It was a beautiful evening. And I just laid my heart out, and I said, baby Sharon, I said, would you marry me? And she laughed. She just laughed. That's all. She didn't say yes. She didn't say no. She didn't say maybe. She just laughed. Well, when I pulled the ring out of my pocket and opened it up, then it was all good. She jumped, we just hugged and kissed. So this, and so blessed. She was able to travel us for about 6 weeks with my sisters, and we got back home to Vegas, and we got married about a year after this, maybe 10 months or so. What a gift to have somebody that you can love and cherish and hold, and you're just your mate. And I know some of you all have lost some, but this song, to me, talks about maybe, I don't have all these pretty words to say to her, but just that moment reminds me of this song so much. It's a fun song to sing, and it was Josh Turner, I think, that sang this. So we're gonna try this, and this is for me to my wife. Of how many years now? 29 years. Would you go with me if we roll down streets of fire? Would you hold on to me tighter as the summer sun got higher, and we went from town to town to shut it down? Would you go with me if we walk through fields of clover? Would we walk even closer until it was over? And would it be okay if I didn't know the way? If I gave you my hand, would you take it and make me the happiest man in the world? If I told you my heart wouldn't beat one more minute without you, girl, would you accompany me to the end of the sea? Help me know you're really a dream. I've got to know, would you go with me? Hit it, Dave, on the guitar. My sister, she just walked in a minute ago. What she would say is, get a hotel room, get a hotel room. This next song is another Christmas song. Mama, let's sing this together. Sleigh Bells Ring. Are you ready for that? Let's try that together. And sing along. It is Christmas.
I just love you all so much, I can't even stand it up here. So it just feels like we're just surrounded by love right in this room. It's a beautiful feeling. Was I going up the stairs or down the stairs?
Hey, do I hear a wall?
I got my reputation. They say I'm older now, so I got to really do that kind of thing now.
That's right.
Okay, go ahead, but when you're done, I'll do a
Are you
lull.
going to tell a joke? Is there a law?
Let's hear it.
Can I have the time?
No, let's kick one off.
Okay, I'll take the time.
Kick her off there, Wichita.
You know, Dave and Paul, they decided they wanted to go out reindeer hunting. So, you know, Paul had never been before, and he said, really? I want to go reindeer hunting. How do you find them? What do you do, you know? Took Andrew, too. And so Dave says, come on, let's go. So they built a little fire, and while they were doing that, Andrew says, you know, he'll go out and get the first reindeer. So he went out and he went hunting, and it was maybe an hour or two. He came out with a big old reindeer slung over his back. And Paul says, wow, how'd you do that? I want to do that. He says, well, what you do is you go out and you look around and you find the tracks and you follow the tracks and you shoot the reindeer.
Just like that.
No problem. Well, they decided they were tired, so they were going to take a rest, and the next day, you know, Dave decides, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get me a reindeer. So he goes out and he's hunting around for a while, and he's gone about, 3 hours, and then he comes back and he's got an even bigger reindeer slung over his back.
Wow.
And Paul says, wow, how'd you do that? He said, well, I just went out and I found the tracks and I followed the tracks and I shot the reindeer.
Just like that?
Yeah.
That's right.
So Paul says, well, after breakfast was over, they put away the dishes and everything. And Paul says, I'm going to go out and I'm going to try it. Well, he was gone 5, 6, 7 hours.
Whoa.
10 hours. All of a sudden, they start to hear a little rustling in the bushes. And they hear a moan. And it's Paul. And he says, I gotta tell you what happened to me. He says, he's all cut up and the clothes are all messed up and everything. He says, I did just what you said. I went out and I found the tracks and I followed the tracks, but then came the train.
Oh, that wasn't very bright right there, I think.
All right. Let's do a song we're going to try to get to before this big long.
When we lived up in New York, we actually had a sleigh and a horse, one horse open sleigh.
It was beautiful.
And the winters up there we were in the snow belt. It was like some other kind of world. It was so beautiful. It was dry, you could go outside and you get cold like you do down here in Kentucky. So
Icy down here.
My husband taught Syracuse University, you know. We thought our life was all set. We're just having this beautiful dream of a life, right? And all of a sudden, here we take off for the road, and we're gone 40 years, and we're still going. So you never know what God has for you, so just always be in tune.
Be ready for the ride.
Be in tune.
That's right. Sleigh bells.
Sleigh bells ring, autumn is there, in the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in the winter wonderland. On the way is a new bird, here to stay is a new bird, singing a song as we go along, walking in the winter wonderland.
in this room know what this season's about. The gift giving's great, it's a beautiful thing, but we know what it's about. And this song talks so much about what it's about. And we're going to have Dave and Paul do this beautiful piece for you.
Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and the soul found its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise, let all within us praise His holy name. Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Fall on your knees and hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Sharon Robinson, Paul Sims made the next song. I'm just telling you. Wow.
All right, kids, I guess you're gonna do. You know, we look at this piece of paper up here, most of the time we just throw it away. It's always different up here. It just depends on what you all are doing. Mama's gonna come out and sing a precious song. And I was sharing with a couple of tables how blessed we are as a family, but today, you have become our family and have blessed us greatly, each and every one of you today. Thank you for that.
And I can't help it, there's a very photogenic young lady over there that's absolutely tearing my heart out because I haven't seen her for a long time. She's my baby daughter. Yeah. Come on over here.
Yeah, she acts like a baby too.
Hey, and listen, Mom, hang on one second. This next set of music, we're going to have dessert, but it hadn't even got started yet. We're going to bring Santa in to do a couple of Patsy Cline songs. The drums are going to go crazy the next set, so we'll just be ready for the whole next set coming down.
Hey, I get that other guitar out.
That's right, that's right.
You can't resist her. She is one of the twins. And I don't know if you all remember the show back on the farm or anything, but yeah, I've got some heads shaking back there. They remember the show with all the babies there. And all the grandbabies were tap dancing on the stage. I gotta tell you, our show is not, we have a set, but tonight when we go back and look at that set, but we didn't do this and we didn't do that. But it doesn't matter because you're here and you're guiding our path for us tonight, so thank you for that. But this song I used to sing to the babies back there. Okay, let's go for it.
Give her a nice beat.
When I'm worried and I can't sleep, I count my blessings, that's right, instead of sheep. Then I fall asleep, counting my blessings. And when my bankroll is growing small, well, I think of when I had none at all, and I fall asleep, counting my blessings. For my other grandbabies, I got them here someplace. There's one right there.
Right over there.
And here, come here, darling. I think about a nursery, and I dream of curly heads. And one by one I count them as they slumber in their beds. So if you're worried and you can't sleep, you better just count your blessings instead of sheep, and you'll fall asleep, counting your blessings. Thank you very much for letting me share a little bit. Thanks, Michael, and my little darling sisters like me. Samantha, thank you.
We're going to try this next song, and we had no idea how much this meant to several people in our audience. The last show is the first time we've done it. But I want to share with you a personal thing from me. We have a family that has worked themselves to death today, Beth and her daughters. And it is a good thing to have good friends, isn't it?